Alright, sup peeps, this is Voxel Vagrant, and I will be taking you through a tutorial on how to use OBS with VDO.ninja to have multiple cameras and multiple screens running if you're recording or streaming a demo of what you do, a demonstration. Like, this could be good for art, music, origami, knife making, cooking, I don't know, anything that you do with your hands and you want to have an extra camera to show what you do, like the fine details of your practice. That might be useful to you. So, like, as you can see, the example I've shown here is illustration. And so we've got my phone as a camera, and that's, to show specific, what it is I might be clicking on or doing so you guys can see what tools I'm using. I have a screen dedicated to, so this is actually from my Wacom, and this is just Photoshop, so it's just sharing my Photoshop screen, and you can see if I move my stylus over here, that cursor is updating in not quite real time, because it's over the Wi-Fi. It's going to be, there's a bit of lag latency there, so if I wanted to improve that, I'd probably have an Ethernet connection to my Wacom tablet. And then of course I've got the Logitech Stream Cam, in case you want to see my facial expressions while I work, or if I'm like, talking to the audience as I'm doing now. And the cool thing about OBS is I can have multiple scenes set up. So this is a scene which contains all these particular windows. But say, for example, I wanted to switch to my desktop and show off this really freaking cool GIF, which plays beautifully in time to my background music. Or if I had other stuff I was showing during the demonstration on my desktop. That could be literally any screen and scene. So I'll show you how to set up your scenes and how to be able to switch between the different scenes, how to bring your sources in. And how, what VDO.ninja is, it's what OBS is, where to get both, how to access them, and how to connect your phone to your computer, or your phone into OBS on your computer, and your tablet, or whatever other device you're using, and how to get it all set up from scratch. The only bonus special stuff I think I cover is how to change your output path for your videos. So if you finish recording, you know exactly where that video is going. In the tutorial, I think I'm a bit nerdy and I reveal how detailed I get about my folders and structures, and this goes here and this goes there and that goes there. If I could have it all in a spreadsheet, I would. And okay, so that's everything we're going to be covering. So by the end of this session, you'll be able to do all of this. And just quick double WHS check-in. One of the first things you should do when you get your session set up is rehearse, run through it, and make sure you don't trip and fall, knock over anything, pour liquid onto your keyboard and cause your computer to explode, or any of the above. Take good care of yourself. Drink plenty of water, get exercise, see the sun every once in a while, and occasionally make time to speak to a human. It's good for you. We have a bad habit of not taking care of ourselves in this industry. By this industry, I mean any creative industry whatsoever. Okay. Let's get into it, and let me know if you have any questions or comments. If there's a better way of doing it, I'm sure there is. If you think something I've done was dorky or silly, I'm sure you'll tell me about it. Please do drop criticism if you have it, even the harshest criticism. After I cry a bit into my hot cocoa, it will help me be a better trainer and a better person. And I'd love to see what you do with this. So I'd love to see your setup, what you end up demonstrating, the tutorial to share. So definitely, drop a link in the comments or shoot me a message, and go share these, yo. And I shall catch you guys in the tutorial, starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so here we are. We are currently looking at OBS. This is the same scene as used in the intro. So your scene is effectively, it's like your container that contains all the windows that you are going to have in your recording. You can switch between different scenes within one recording or stream. So for example, I have in my scenes window, which is in the lower left hand corner of OBS, I have my intro scene with the webcam, phone cam, and my Wacom tablet screen. And I also can switch to my desktop, where you can see a infinitely repeated void of space because OBS is sitting there. But if, for example, I had OBS moved to the side on my other monitor, which is, generally how I would be working, you can see I've got my desktop here, and I might load up whatever other programs I wanted to show you in as part of a demonstration. Okay, what we're gonna do is quickly walk you around the important background settings and like where your videos are going to be stored. And then I'm going to show you how to set up the scene using VDO.ninja links for your devices, and where we're going to, and we might actually start with where you download OBS, which could be useful to you. I'm a dork. Okay, so Open Broadcaster Software, OBS. This is an open source software, which means it is free and awesome. It is available on Windows, Mac, or Linux. Just grab the installer for whichever version or whichever operating system you use and install that to your drive of choice. The other website I mentioned is VDO.ninja. And so that's VDO.ninja. This is originally was OBS.ninja, but is going through a rebrand. So this is the browser that we're actually using on both the phone and the Wacom tablet. And so on my phone, I loaded up that browser, and I had clicked on Add Camera to OBS, and that allowed me to create a link, which I sent to myself. And on the Wacom tablet, I loaded up a browser and did remote screen share into OBS. And again, that gave me a link, which I sent to myself, and then opened in OBS here. I'll just show you where those go. So, we'll go step by step through the whole process, but since I'm talking about it right now, let's make that information sticky. So for example, in my phone, if I go into sources, which is just this panel to the right of scenes, these are all the sources for my screens, my little boxes and windows here. So the phone source, which I named appropriately, originally this would be a browser source. So double click on the phone source and you can see the little preview for my phone, which comes in portrait mode automatically, and I rotated it for the scene, and you can see the link that I had sent myself here. So there's my VDO.ninja link, and where I'd set up my screen size and stuff, which we will be going through in a few minutes. And then same deal with the Wacom screen. So again, it was a browser. You could tell by the little icon here, the ubiquitous browser icon, and if I double click on that, you've got my Wacom screen preview, the link I sent myself, and again the width and height that I set for that particular container. Where to from here? Okay, so I think probably the best thing to do at this point would be to go to settings, show you settings, and show you how to change where your videos get stored, because there's nothing more frustrating than using a new program for the first time and finishing a recording and being really happy with it and then going, where's the video? So now you can actually tell your computer exactly where you want it to be stored. So on the lower right hand corner under controls, you've got settings, and you'll notice that I don't have the recording button turned on in OBS. That's because I'm using Movavi to to record the entirety of my desktop right now, including OBS, so we don't have that like OBS infinity effect, which just is, I don't like it. Okay, so settings window, and what we want is under output. Now, for streaming options, if you are streaming, I totally recommend Googling and YouTubing perfect, awesome OBS stream settings. I am a recorder, not a streamer, as my internet sucks. So, definitely look up great settings for streaming. In the meantime, what I am using here is under encoder. I am using the NVIDIA H.264 encoder, so it makes it a nice little tidy packaged, good quality file size for sharing and uploading. And under the recording tab, you can see that under encoder I've got use stream encoder, which is that one that we were just talking about. And under recording path, I have changed that. So that's usually says like C drive, users, and videos. So it'd be like in your videos folder. I've decided to send that to my D drive, which has way more space, and in a folder called video output, and in a folder called OBS. So I've got all my OBS stuff here and all my Movavi stuff there, and then it's all organized and good for editing. Okay, and my recording format for OBS at the moment is MP4. I was using MKV before, which is great if you're using like Adobe Rush or Movavi or whatever. But it didn't open in the free Windows video editor, and I just want to see if MP4 does, because I don't want to recommend paid video editing programs if you're just kind of doing a video here and there. I do want to check out the Windows video editor for free and see if it's any good, see if it's as good as iMovie. That's tutorial. I digress. That's a tutorial for next time. Okay, so my output path has been set for OBS. I now know where those videos are going to go. I want to walk you through the process of setting up all these screens for the first time. Now, I think the coolest way to do this is actually going to be setting up a scene and looking at my Wacom tablet, because I can show you how I generate that link, where it's much more tricky to do that with the phone. But it's just going to be the same process for the phone. The only difference is going to be when you're on the phone, you'll go add your camera to OBS. Whereas when you're on the tablet and you want to share your screen, we're going to be doing remote screen share into OBS. Okay, so I'm going to create, because I'm going to switch back to this scene rather than mess with any of my windows, I'm going to create a brand new scene. I just hit the mic. I bet that sounded really bad. Oh well, keep it. So I'm going to create a brand new scene so we can switch between that scene and this scene. And go from there. Okay, so to create a brand new scene and to show you what OBS looks like when you first open it for the first time, I'm going to click this little plus button down here by the scenes window, so lower left-hand corner of the UI, the little plus for add, and I'm going to give this a name. We'll call this VDO.ninja. Okay, boom! When you open up OBS for the very first time, you get this totally black, empty space, blank canvas, which is actually really daunting. Alright, so let's add in our source, which has already been set up for us previously. Now I'm just setting this up as a window. Actually, ooh. See, now this is bringing in my Photoshop specifically. So I want to actually bring in my whole screen. So on my Wacom tablet, you can't see this yet. Oh, you can actually see this if, hey, you know what we should do? Bring in the phone cam. I totally should have done that before. That would make more sense. Let's go bring in my browser source and add existing phone. Hey, this is totally the wrong direction. You can rotate any source right click on that source and go transform, and we'll go rotate, I think, counterclockwise. Yes. Cool, you can totally see my webcam screen. Hey. I want to set this one up from scratch, I think. So let's just hang up on peeps. Oh, cancel, hang up. We're gonna do a fresh video ninja setup for you. Okay, cool. So on my tablet, I've gone to the link VDO.ninja, and I've got my little options here. I'm going to go to remote screen share into OBS. And I'm just going to leave my audio as default because it's not going to grab audio for me anyways. Select screen to share. There we go. Okay, so I've got options between sharing my entire screen or sharing my window or Microsoft Edge tab. So say for example I want to share just Photoshop, which is what I was doing before. Which I think I might just do again because it's nice, and you know, it's, if you're screen sharing, it's probably the one you're most likely to do. Otherwise, you would go with entire screen. So we'll go share my Photoshop image. Cool. So this is a preview of my sharing, but what I really need is I need to grab the link that gets generated for this. So I'm going to go back to this window and check this out. Boom, at the very top, browser source, there is the link that I want. And if I click on that, it says, well, you can kind of barely see it. My stylus was in the way. When you just tap on that or click on that, it copies it to your keyboard. If you're on a phone and you just tap it, it will copy that to your clipboard. Sorry, keyboard, dork. And so this particular link, I am just going to send myself. So let's switch. So I'm just going to email that to myself, or I can actually type it directly into the window here, which is what I will do, so I don't accidentally reveal my email to the world. Okay, I want to add my webcam screen here into my OBS scene. So I'm just going to create some space, because it's going to come in about kind of squarish. I am going to be adding a brand new browser source, because we're doing this from scratchies. Browser, and I'm going to name this webcam screen from scratchies. And cool. I will just type in. Actually, I'm gonna cheat. I'm gonna go grab the first half, first chunk of that link from the phone cam. Boom. And the number I've got is 2VKVNB9. Control audio via OBS because I don't want any duplication of friggity dookie audio sources. And hit OK. That should all come through okay. Oh, okay, let's switch back to Photoshop. Cool. Boom. Check it. There is, so back on my webcam tablet. So I had previously, I was like sitting here on my browser screen, and I just switched back to Photoshop and everything loaded up pretty clean, super clean. And it's going to scale that up, and you can see if I bring my pen over here, you can see that updated in not quite real time because of aforementioned internet being not awesome where I am. Specifically though, this is the Wi-Fi. So the internet on my main machine, that's Ethernet. But the fact that my tablet's Wi-Fi slows this process down. I wonder if setting up Ethernet connection for my tablet would actually improve the whole experience, or improve that latency. So that's again something for the future. And if you know the answer to that question, please drop it in the comments and share your wisdoms. Okay, so the phone camera would be exactly the same process. The only difference is, and we'll just go back to our little browser here. So let's make this bigger. I want to make this bigger. I want to show you what the link difference looks like. Okay, so I want to fill the screen so you can see that, but it's currently on the bottom. It's behind my webcam. If I want to move this up in the order so you can see it, I just right click on it and go order, move up. Cool. Bring that up again. Back to my browser. Cool. And if I wanted to do a brand new video, let's just do a new tab. Oh my gosh, hello Bing. VDO.ninja. If I were on my phone and I open up this browser, I would go add camera to OBS, and it's permissions denied. Please ensure you have mic and camera permissions allowed. I haven't set them. I'm always going to allow it. Honestly, if someone hacked the page and gained sneaky access to my camera and phone, what are they really going to see? Not much. But for now, I need that camera and that microphone. Done. What happens if I reload you? Reload, add the camera to OBS. Waiting for camera to load. Hey, cool! Anyways, that's what. So, this is what the screen looks like if I'm adding the camera as a source, and you've obviously got your video source here, camera, microphone. Really important one with cameras: if you've already got audio running for your recording on your computer, I totally recommend setting your audio source to no audio on your camera. And if you press start. Boom, check it out, you got a link again. And you just copy that link and add it into your OBS. But I'm just going to turn that camera off because it's really weird looking at my own nose. I'm sure it's weird for you too. Okay, cool. We've got our Wacom cam set up. And this is just like see my pen. Let's just see my pen while I'm working and stuff. This is, this, if you can imagine, if you had like a MIDI controller set up, you'd show your fingers tapping the keys and the keys lighting up and doing really cool things. And you might have over here like an Ableton session or something running at the same time. Okay, the last thing to add would be my webcam, which is totally out of order, I think. I got this the other way around. Yes, so the last thing to add would be the webcam. And again, I just go into sources and the little plus symbol. Video capture device. Now let's call this webcam. Actually, right before I do that, so your webcam can only be used by one thing at a time. So if your webcam is showing up in one program, it won't show up in another program. I don't know if there's some Windows hackery you can do to like convince Windows to share the webcam, but you can't at the moment. So, well, at least I don't think you can. I can't at the moment. So I'm actually gonna disable the webcam in this scene so I can enable it in the other. Alright, so back into my new scene. I'm in sources, hit the little plus button, video capture device, webcam, and boom, you can, so because it's not being used by anything, you can see my little preview there. Device is the Logitech Stream Cam, and I'm just leaving everything else at default. So again, you can Google or YouTube OBS perfect video import settings and get great advice from people far more wise and experienced than I. I am a nooblet, not quite a noob user. I'm a Noob in progress training, nooblets. Um, okay, cool. There I am. And I don't need or want to be in front of everything. So I'm going to just right click on that source and just go order, move down, control, down arrow for hotkey. Cool. All right. I've got like way too much headroom there. Let's do just a little bit of tidying up. And I recommend basically sizing and placing your little windows here. So give more size based on what you want to spend more time showing. And your order, I guess, what makes sense to you. You know, the eye kind of flows around the screen in a bit of a circular fashion here. But I don't know, you know, experiment, try different things, see what works. And then when you're ready to go, you've set your path for output in settings under recording. You know where your video is going to go, and you're ready to start. You can start recording. And the first thing you should do is start recording for just 30 seconds. Just go hi, what's up, 1, 2, 3, mic test, yo. Just to check audio quality and video quality and make sure everything's looking and sounding good. Actually rehearse, run through your little demo. Check that everything's actually functioning correctly and that you don't knock anything over in the process. And then do a couple recordings. Do 3 or 4 and cut between all the best. That brings us to the end of this presentation. And so what we've done is I showed you OBS, Open Broadcaster Software, where to get it. I showed you the extra web cloud-based software tool that we're using, VDO.ninja, and where to find that. How to, so we opened up OBS for the first time, went into the settings, showed you how to change your path so you know where your videos are when you're done recording. And then we walked through the process of loading up VDO.ninja on the Wacom tablet to set up remote screen share just here. So if you want to share what's happening on your screen or what software you're using. And then I showed you how the process is slightly different, just slightly. If you're opening up a browser on your phone and setting up camera share to send to OBS. And in both cases, you would just send those links to yourself to open it up on your recording computer in OBS, or you would just type those details directly. And once again, that was those two sources, they're both browser sources. And in both cases, I just dropped or typed the link into URL and set my resolution. We had bonus. We did some transforming, rotating. So showed you how to rotate your sources, move them around screen, scale them up and stuff, and move them up and down in space. Questions, comments, criticism? I will get criticized. I'm not a professional YouTuber. You can tell by the crap lighting and all the ums and the ahs and the blank stares into the distance. So please, if you've got harsh, brutal, honest criticism, drop them into the comments or send me a message. I will go have a bit of a cry in my hot cocoa and then improve as a person and a trainer. And I'd love to see what you guys do with this, like what demos and stuff you're demonstrating and tutorials you're producing. So please share. Let me see what you've come up with, and I will catch you anon.